Hello guys, it is Miss Keem, your future 6th grade teacher. We are headed to lesson 65 today, and there is a chart and a slideshow, as you can see here. We are on page 13 of your packet, and we are going to learn about the biosphere today. We have a couple paragraphs to read, and then we have a chart to fill out, but it's a really fun chart. This is a fun lesson because we're going to see pictures of animals, and I know you guys love animals. So paragraph 1, you're going to need a highlighter, and you're going to need a pencil today. Here we go. The biosphere is all the areas of Earth where organisms live. A large community of plants and animals that inhabit a specific region of the biosphere is called a biome. The Earth has terrestrial and aquatic biomes. And so we are going to highlight at the end of the second sentence the word biome. Biome. So a biosphere is all the places on Earth where organisms live. Organisms are any living thing. And so we're talking about little teeny tiny microscopic things versus big elephants to humans and so on. So everything living on Earth is going to be living in a biosphere. So you can find out which one you live in as we go through your chart today. So there are only 2 kinds of biomes, terrestrial and aquatic. Your chart and our slideshow is going to be about terrestrial ones. That's a fun word to say. Terrestrial comes from the word land. So these are ones on land, and then obviously aquatic probably makes you think of water. And so aquatic would be water biomes. And so here we go to the, we're going to write above the word aquatic in the last sentence. It's the second to the last word. Above aquatic, write water to remind you that that means water. And then above terrestrial, write in the word land. So terrestrial, land. And we go to paragraph 2. A terrestrial biome is a large area of land with specific climate and a dominant type of vegetation. The climate and vegetation of a region determine the types of animals that are able to live in a terrestrial biome. And so we're going to highlight at the beginning of the first sentence, terrestrial biome. And we're going to know about these because of their climate, their weather. We talked about that yesterday, climate, and vegetation. Vegetation, not necessarily from the word vegetable, but vegetation from things that are living, like our plants, stuff like that. Plants that animals can eat and live in for some animals and so on, vegetation. And so we're going to head down here. You don't need your highlighter anymore. We're going to head down your chart and see all the columns. There are 5 columns. You have biome, the location in the United States, climate, vegetation, and our slideshow is going to be about the animals. And so the biomes, they're pronounced tundra, taiga, deciduous forest, chaparral, it's Spanish-based, grassland, savanna, savanna, here you go, you're in a science lesson, rainforest, and desert. And so our biome, the tundra, we're going to get to first. And here are 2 pictures of the tundra. We have a winter and we have a summer picture. In the United States, we're talking about Alaska, the northern and western coasts. The climate is going to be polar. Vegetation, Small grasses, mosses, small little shrubs can live here. Basically, you're not going to get tall trees here. There's not a root system. There's not the ability for a tall tree to grow. Your last box with your pencil, you're going to fill in 2 animals that you see here on the next slide. And so we have here I'm guessing that P is silent, ptarmigan, the Arctic fox, a gray wolf, a lemming, an Arctic hare, caribou, and Mrs. Schumacher looks like she would like that one, and a snowy owl. And so pick 2 and put them in the box on your chart on page 13. If you need to, put me on pause. I'm going to keep on going so it's not a super long video. Our next biome is called taiga. I know that AI is a little confusing, but taiga. And as we look at our chart, it's the inner part of Alaska. It's going to be the northwestern states of the United States, like Oregon and Wisconsin, Washington. Ooh, that was a crazy mix-up of states. Wisconsin. The extreme northern United States, going from Minnesota to New England. So just the tops, like the top of Minnesota, top of Wisconsin, top of Michigan, maybe top of New York. Pennsylvania's not really in that. Top of maybe Vermont, Connecticut, Maine, the tops of all of those states. Taiga. The climate is going to be the boreal. That's on the chart back on page 12 if you forget what that is. Vegetation is just going to be conifers, which is what you're showing here. Pine trees are conifers. Plants with cones is a conifer. So you have all these different pine trees that are shown here. Here comes your animals. I'll read through. You pick 2, write them down. Brown bear, lynx, elk, red squirrel, red fox, gray wolf, mountain lion, long-eared owl, wolverine. Wolverines are always kind of ugly. It's the state animal of Michigan, and I grew up in Michigan, and so we always thought that those were ugly when we were growing up. This is Mrs. Schumacher's area. This is the kind of climate and the kind of animals that she loves to investigate. Crazy lady. So pick 2. Deciduous forest. Deciduous. Try and say it. Deciduous. Yeah, a lot of vowels in there. On your chart it says it's the eastern parts of the United States. We think about states like Rhode Island, Connecticut, the lower part of New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, the bottom part of Michigan, and even going down Delaware and the Carolinas and things like that, the eastern coast, eastern parts of the United States. Temperate is going to be our climate. Our vegetation is going to be broad-leaved trees. So this is Pennsylvania. This is your biome. You live in the biome called deciduous forest. Deciduous forest. And so here we go. White-tailed deer, opossum, skunk, rattlesnake, coyote, some people call him a coyote, raccoon, red squirrel. So maybe not a rattlesnake, but I'm thinking that we have seen these here in our area. I know I haven't smelled them so far, but I know sometimes my neighborhood gets skunks in them, and you can just kind of smell it when you walk or drive around the neighborhood. Deer, the opossum, squirrels we probably all see, raccoons. I know raccoons get into my neighbor's trash can sometimes. Not in mine, fortunately. Coyotes, I hear they're around. I've even heard some in our area in Pittsburgh that people have spotted coyotes. So this is definitely our biome. Again, if you need to put me on pause, go ahead. The chaparral is going to be southern and central California. They receive subtropical dry summer And they're going to be known for their shrubs. As you can see here, no tall trees, just a lot of low growing shrubs. And I don't mean low growing like ankle high, I mean like waist high. And so here is the chaparral. Here's our animals. The jackrabbits, horned lizard, roadrunner, doesn't look like the cartoon, mule deer, bighorn sheep, ooh, look at those horns, and the condor. So these are California things, California animals in that biome. So we're not going to see these here, okay, unless it's like at a zoo. I'm going on. You can put me on pause. Grassland. Sometimes you might see parts of Pennsylvania look like this. It's going to be in central United States or the Great Plains states. States like Nebraska, Iowa, maybe Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, did I say that? Indiana, Tennessee, Kentucky, places like that. The central United States. Grassland. They're going to have a temperate climate, and they're going to have grasses with trees in river valleys. And you can see that off to the left side where you see taller trees, but you can also see the land dipping down where it's going to catch the water as it flows. Here we go. Bison. This is a new one for me. Kestrel, I think. Prairie rattlesnake. Pronghorn. Deer mouse. They have a really different kind of snout than mice we see here. Another coyote, prairie dog, a badger, and rabbit. Okay. Then you have, here we go, savanna. The savanna, without the H. Savanna. There are no locations in the United States. Your chart says none. So savanna, you have to travel to go get to see other savannas. I know that there are savannas in Africa. I'm not sure if they're in any other continents, but this climate is going to be wet and dry tropical. Grasses, widely scattered trees, and that's exactly what you see here in this picture. Widely scattered trees, especially as you look in the distance. Those are teeny tiny little trees that we see, but they're scattered, right? They're not grouped together like a forest. So savanna. Here's our animals. The elephant, the gnu, that's a silent G like in gnat, ostrich, zebra, cheetah, hyena, meerkat, lion, giraffe, rhinoceros. These all say to me like Disney movies, right? Lion King and what's that other one? Madagascar. There we go. So this would be the grouping for savanna. Rainforest. This is going to be parts of Hawaii for the United States. There are others in the Amazon area in South America. You'll find a rainforest, but we're talking about United States. And so this would be in parts of Hawaii. The climate is going to be wet tropical. The vegetation, as you can see, so many things growing here, could be broadleaf trees. It's hard to see at this level because we're at the bottom here. Mosses, I see some of that. Ferns and vines. I see a palm tree in the immediate front. Here come the animals. A dart frog, a tiger, a fruit bat, a tapir, a boa, a toucan, leopard, parrot, mouse deer. How about we had a deer mouse? Now we have a mouse deer. Weird. And a sloth. Some people love to look at a sloth. They're kind of weird too, like the Wolverine. I'm drawn to like the toucan and the dart frog. Those are kind of cool for me. The tapir, that's a weird one, huh? I have to talk to God when we get to heaven. See what kind of see what his rationale was making all these different cool animals. How cool are they? We're really having a good slideshow here today. I told you. All right, pick two. Write them down. Desert, last one. This is going to be in the southwestern United States. Our key states would be like Arizona, New Mexico. You might have a little of this in Texas. You might have a little of this in Utah. Nevada might look like this, the bottom part of Nevada. And so this is your desert area. This is your vegetation. Dry climate. And you're going to have here cacti, sagebrush, yuccas, and shrubs. Shrubs are like small bushes. Here we go. Oh, a roadrunner's back. The great horned owl, a scorpion. I hear those are bad to get bit by. The Gila monster, a kit fox, desert tortoise, kangaroo rat, and the king snake. Interesting. I don't know a lot about these. I've heard of them, but I don't know much about them, like what they would eat or how dangerous or poisonous they might be. So there they are. That is all of them. So you should at this point have, I'll just go back here so you don't have to see my reflection. You will have page 13 all done. We've got some things highlighted up in the upper paragraphs, and you've picked 2 animals from each of the slideshows. If you don't have 2, just go back through this video and pull out the 2, and they should be spelled perfectly because you have them spelled for you. All right, go ahead and do worksheet 65 today, guys, and go ahead and put your answers here where I tell you to in the Google Classroom question. Okay, hope you guys are doing well, and we'll have to have a live class next week just so I can see your faces. Okay, bye.